Come in. Come on, let's go.
Joe Rangel is on a dream fishing cruise in Mexico's Sea of Cortez.
I've always been pretty much of a city boy. I like going outdoors. I like going fishing. I love going fishing. And when I started going on these trips, I found my niche. To me, that is the greatest trip in the world, is to go down there for 6 days, get on a boat, and forget everything. Just fish till you drop.
To share the experience, he's invited his childhood friend, Lorenzo Madrid, along for the trip.
I first met Lorenzo Madrid when we were in junior high school.
Hey, Larry.
What?
Look at that.
We were pretty much good time boys.
Oh, yeah, she got your beard.
Hey, shut it.
He was a good guy to hang around with.
One.
The men are based on a tour ship anchored off Guardian Angel Island, 20 miles from the Mexican coast. The east side of the island is popular with fishing tours, but today their local guide, Pepe, is taking them to a remote cove on the more exposed western coast.
It's quiet, it's desolate, you're all alone.
Here she comes, come on.
It's like fishing nowhere else in the world.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
It's fantastic.
I can't believe it. Look at that, Joe. Try another lure.
Get out of here. You think I don't know what I'm doing?
Well, how many have you caught today?
Nothing.
The detour to the remote side of the island pays off. After a successful day's catch, the two friends are more than happy with their guide, Pepe.
He's a nice kid. He's outgoing, willing to please. Pepe did not speak any English at all.
What'd he say?
The bucket's too small, man.
The bucket's too small.
Sí, vamos.
As the sun starts to set, it's time to head back to the tour boat.
Hey, I'm back.
We just sat down and opened the beer and get the ride back to the big boat.
But when Pepe swings south, the boys begin to wonder if they're heading in the right direction. The tour boat was anchored on the northern tip of the island.
Hey, should we go?
No, I don't think
the other
so.
way?
Yeah. This doesn't look familiar to me.
Pepe, ¿dónde vas?
So I asked him, isn't the boat back there?
Vamos bien, el Celiagelina se fue para el sur mientras ustedes andaban pescando.
Sí.
And he said, no. While you guys were fishing, the boat passed us. And they went this way.
I didn't see it.
Nah, me neither.
We figured he's a professional, he knows what he's doing, he knows where he's at. And we left it at that.
But after an hour, motoring south along the island's coastline, there's still no sign of the tour boat. And Pepe has more immediate concerns.
Joe. Ya no hay gasolina.
¿Cómo cae la poca gasolina?
He tells us, I think I'm running out of gas.
What's up?
No fuel is what's up.
Oh, it just gets better.
It was a bad situation, it was dangerous.
They have just minutes before the engine cuts out. And without power, Joe knows they can't steer the boat and could easily be swept out to sea by the currents.
I said, let's beach this while you have power.
Pepe, vamos a la playa.
¿Qué playa? Pura roca, no puedo para allá.
Their only hope is to make it to land. But the island's coastline is a fortress of jagged rocks and sheer cliff faces.
He said, there's no beaches. This whole island is rocks.
They know they have no option but to try to reach the shore.
Between the current and the sharks, I'd rather take my chance on land than out in the water.
Vamos.
No me quiero estrellar, no puedo estrellar.
Vamos por ella. A la playa, vamos.
The only thing you can see is the white of the pounding water on the rocks. We were scared.
Their only way to reach land is to power the boat directly into the raging surf. But just as it seems they'll make it safely,
A surge of water hit me from behind and forced me into the rocks.
the men make it to shore. But they're now stranded on the island, with no way of calling for rescue.
Larry! Hold on there.
You're totally soaked, the wind is blowing, and we started shivering down to the bone.
Bring it back.
The men search for driftwood and build a fire,
Made a fire before.
using up their last few drops of fuel to get it going.
Once we got the fire going, we were able to dry off, and it wasn't all that unbearable anymore.
Not so bad now, Larry.
We knew it should have been an easy thing for the big boat to pick us up the next morning.
It's calls for a beer.
The men resign themselves to a night out in the open, believing their stay on the island will be a short one.
Boat will pick us up in the morning. We out.
They spend the next morning waiting to be collected.
My guess was that we would be picked up no later than noon. All we have to do is just wait, and the boat should be here.
Midday comes, and there's no sign of rescue.
Now it's getting a little bit more serious as the day is wearing on. We need to get out of here.
Mid-afternoon, and Pepe drops a bombshell.
I said, well, I don't think they're gonna pick us up.
The men are washed up on the side of the island that fishing boats never visit. Their tour boat won't look for them here.
They're not gonna come this way. They're not gonna look for us. It's like somebody just pulled the bottom out from under you.
La única manera de salir de aquí es si nosotros hacemos algo al respecto.
¿Qué hacemos?
What's he saying?
He said the only way we're going to get off of here is if we do something ourselves.
Pepe comes up with an audacious plan to get them back to the mainland.
Si no tiene agua, pero la podemos sacar con la cubeta. Si a Larry le podemos dar la cubeta, unos remos, se puede buscar para...
He says we can bail it out. Get it on the sea. Maybe we can use it.
Is he serious?
He said, we can take this boat across. We can row across.
Larry puede sacar con la cubeta.
Between the three of us, we can get it over there.
With no fuel for the boat's engine, they'll have to row to the mainland. But it's a 20-mile journey across open seas.
It was an unbearable hot day, probably close to 100, but it felt good to be doing something.
Out. Get the rhythm. In. Keep this up, guys. We're going to make it. In.
We actually thought we could make it.
For 2 punishing hours, the men row in the intense heat, their hands torn by the rough driftwood paddles.
I'm getting exhausted. I am getting to the point where I'm just gonna drop.
As the sun dips towards the horizon, the men's stubborn determination finally pays off.
¿Qué es eso? Mira, 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 para allá, barcos. ¡Hay barcos!
You can see people on boats. They didn't hear us. They didn't hear us. They didn't look. They didn't do anything.
They can't see us. Joe, keep paddling.
The men push on, hoping to close the distance to the shore. They make progress for another hour. But from nowhere, they're gripped by a powerful undercurrent.
We're going backwards. What? We're going back. What do you mean?
It's a very strong current. It's a really strong current.
Too far away.
Now we couldn't make any headway.
The tide has turned, and it's pulling them backwards.
Come on, Joe, come on!
We're trying frantically to row faster.
Come on, take it in.
Come on! Come on! It's not that far! We're not moving.
We are in some deep trouble.
As night falls, the men give in to their exhaustion. But as they sleep, they're being dragged back ever closer towards the rocky shores of the island.
Joe, Barry. ¡Despierten! ¡Nos vamos contra la roca!
Joe, wake up! It works! Stop paddling, buddy! Come on now! Come on!
The current was going to take us wherever it wanted. We're going to crash, and we're going to crash hard.
Joe and Pepe make it safely to shore. But Lorenzo is thrown violently onto the rocks, severely spraining both of his ankles. The 3 men's attempt to escape the island has failed, and their boat is now completely wrecked.
We didn't talk much that night. Lorenzo and I were pretty down in the dumps. We were depressed. Those castaway bottles kept us alive. But as the days went on, we were finding less and less water.
Water!
We found maybe 6 ounces a day, maybe, that we would have to split 3 ways.
Salt.
When their precious few drops of water finally run out, they know they won't survive in this heat for much longer. Their hike north is now a race against time.
I never really thought survival was as difficult as it is.
After a week stumbling through the water, Joe has deep cuts in his legs. They're becoming infected, and blood poisoning is now a real threat. If it sets in, it could kill him within hours.
This could be a lost cause. I could die here. And I told him, look, I'm gonna write a letter to my wife and my kids in case something happens to me. I love you all. Don't blame anybody of what happened to me. I put myself in the situation and I died here, but it's just something that happened.
Joe asks Lorenzo if he too wants to write a message to his loved ones.
Hey, Larry. No. I don't want to do that right now.
And he said, no, I don't want to do that. Not yet. I don't want to be doing this. Maybe he didn't want to really face a situation we're in or what the outcome might be.
Ravenously hungry, the three men are desperate for anything to eat. Joe resorts to pulling tiny sea snails from the rocks.
I gave one to Lorenzo. I go, here, eat it. And he looked at it and said, I'm not going to eat that. I knew that he had to have something, but at the same time, I can't force it down his throat. He'd have to eat it because he wanted to.
When the sun is gone, the temperature plummets. So far, they've kept warm with driftwood fires. But now, disaster strikes.
What happened? It broke.
The lyre it just fell apart in his hands. The salt water had just eaten it.
From now on, the men have only each other to keep warm. With death closing in, the men are unaware their families have been searching for them. But they've joined the rescue teams that believe the men are fishing on the east side of the island. After 6 days searching, Joe's son calls home with devastating news.
He says, I can't find him. He's not there, Mom. I don't know if we'll ever find him. And he was heartbroken.
After 8 days missing, the search is finally abandoned. The men are feared lost at sea.
I had given up hope. The reality of it was he was dead and wasn't coming back.
The men struggle on northwards. But still, there's no sign of any fishing boats. Lorenzo is becoming increasingly depressed and irrational.
Stop. We gotta go back. I lost my glasses. We gotta go back. I want my glasses. Things are gonna be okay.
He just totally panicked. He lost it.
They're my glasses. I need my glasses. You got me. I need my glasses. I need my glasses.
I'm trying to convince him, okay, look, now I'll be your eyes. But there's no consoling him. For him, it was the end of the world.
What?
Lorenzo was starting to lose touch with reality.
Joe. switch.
Lorenzo asked me if he could be on back of the raft. He wanted to trade places with me.
I want to go behind for a while, okay?
Delirious with dehydration, Joe takes up his friend's offer of a ride, without realizing how desperate Lorenzo's condition has become.
I heard a gurgling noise behind me.
Larry! Larry!
And I turned around,
Larry!
and his head is underwater.
Larry! What are you doing? Larry! Larry!
I told Pepe, he's in trouble. We must get him out of the water.
Ayúdame, Joe. Joe, ayúdame. Joe, agárrame los brazos.
Larry! Larry! Get him up! Larry!
Larry, está bien.
I'm talking to him, and there's no response.
Larry!
Larry.
The look on his face it wasn't right.
Larry!
I start checking for a pulse. I checked his neck, his wrist. It was just nothing.
After 12 days, battling to stay alive, Lorenzo has finally succumbed.
I told Pepe he's dead. He passed away. He just died, and I couldn't do anything. That's probably the worst moment of my life. At first, I was angry that he abandoned me. We should be seeing this through the end. But then I realized it was a big ordeal for him. And his body just gave out.
Joe decides to leave his best friend's body on the beach, in full view of the ocean and any passing boat.
I want him found. I want his body found, even if it's just skeleton. I want him to be found, be taken home.
I'm gonna come back for you.
I said my goodbyes to him, and I told him that I have to leave. It broke my heart.
Joe and Pepe struggle to keep moving north, barely clinging to life with every step.
We were living moment by moment. It was no longer, can I do the 10 more feet? It was right now, can I take another step?
Battling his diabetes, it's a miracle that Joe has survived 13 days without food or proper water. But now he fears the end is near, and he faces an agonizing, anonymous death.
If I die, Nobody is ever gonna find my bones. I was at rock bottom.
Joe, es un barco.
Pepe turns around and yells at me, "Did you see that boat?" He was very excited. I didn't think there was a boat. I thought he was hallucinating. All of a sudden, I'm alone.
Joe and Pepe are finally saved by two Mexican fishermen.
It was exhilarating to see this boat. Thank God this is over. I was relieved, like a big burden had been lifted off my shoulder.
That afternoon, Joe's wife, Margaret, gets a call from her son.
He says, they found Dad. He walked out this morning. The fisherman picked him up. He's okay. I mean, I was elated, but at the same time, I just knew that there was more wrong. He told me that Lorenzo has passed away. And I says, oh my God.
Seeing my wife, my son, my daughter, all of them, it was great. I just felt bad that Lorenzo wasn't there to share it.
Lorenzo's body was recovered and taken back to his wife and family in the US.
If Lorenzo had gone one more day, he would have been with us. He'd be here now.
Hey, honey, do you want to grab these?
Sure.
The Silverwood family, from San Diego, California, is on a round-the-world sailing trip.
Hey, Amelia, honey, will you come here and grab this?
For Dad, John, the voyage is the fulfillment of a lifelong dream.
John had always talked to me about going and doing the sailing thing. You know, he said, oh, let's just go buy this boat and go, you know, put the kids on board and go sailing around the world.
There's a lot of different reasons why we went on this voyage. Probably most important to me was that my kids experienced firsthand at a young and an impressionable enough age, just the absolute freedom of being out on the ocean.
Hey, Ben, you want to give your mom a hand?
I think that's gonna be okay.
The family has already sailed 20,000 miles.
You all set?
They're now on the last leg of their journey, leaving the South Pacific island of Raiatea and heading for Australia, 3,500 miles away.
Australia, we were going to sell the boat and go back home and put the kids back to school and go back to work.
Okay, guys, come on, let's go.
The family has spent the last 21 months on John's pride and joy, an 80-foot catamaran, the Emerald Jane, bought from his 20 years of hard work in the construction industry.
Emerald Jane, she was just incredible. A great combination, you know, beauty, power, seaworthiness, strength. Her mast, 80 feet tall. I loved every inch of her.
For John's 3 youngest children, Camille and Amelia, and their brother Jack, the trip has been an unforgettable experience. The Emerald Jane has become their family home, as well as their very own school at sea.
We had all the accoutrements of life that we would need, including probably 300 pounds of school books.
But not everyone on board has enjoyed the trip.
Ben. What? You want to come over here, take over? I have to.
John's teenage son, Ben, has found it hard going.
I wanted to go home really badly because I just missed all my friends. And I was still in contact with a lot of my friends via email. So I tell them about stuff, and I really missed them.
6 months ago, Ben discovered that his dad had extended their trip.
When I found out about that, I was pretty angry. I kicked down the door, punched a little hole in the wall, and basically threw a pretty sizable fit.
But today, any grumbles have been left behind. They're out on the ocean and heading home.
Amelia and Camille are both playing out on the deck. Jean's busy reading a book. They're at sea. Ben maybe a little bit grudgingly, but they're happy.
Hello. Is everybody hungry?
The Silverwood family while away a lazy afternoon at sea.
No, he did. Was it?
There's a clanking sound up at the mast. Something that had never happened to us before.
You see anything?
Shackle.
Where? It's loose.
And the boom was now smashing into the mast repeatedly. And we wrestled with that problem for probably 2 hours.
But John and Ben can't fix the sail.
Yeah, I think we leave it for the night, Ben.
I say, look, we'll fix this thing in daylight. We have to drop the mainsail down. And we continue on like that.
As dusk falls, John sets the boat's navigation system to avoid one of the many tiny islands that dot the Pacific Ocean. And the Emerald Jane heads into the sunset.
It's glorious. It's glorious. I'm just like at one with the universe.
You guys all set for dinner?
Yeah, Mom.
Yeah?
Below deck, the family relaxes, while Ben keeps watch in the cockpit.
1 more minute, and that's it. Okay?
John takes a rest, and the 3 younger children get ready for their evening meal. It's another night at sea, just like the hundreds they've spent together during their voyage.
I start to hear this scraping sound. It's very light. And I just think in my head, well, maybe it's a floating coconut palm or something we've just hit.
Go back to your picture, honey. It's great.
There's this sharp bang sound.
Then it starts to get louder and louder.
I run into the salon. Like chalk on a board on steroids, man. It's just ripping our ears apart. And my son's voice coming from the cockpit, one word. Reef! Reef! He's screaming, reef.
We looked at each other in horror.
And in that same second, I hear this big boom.
I just got thrown a good 5-10 feet.
The Emerald Jane has smashed into a submerged coral reef. John slams the boat's engines into reverse. The boat grinds to a halt on the reef. But their ordeal has only just begun.
This giant wave hits the boat.
The ocean has punched its way through the hull of the boat.
The water just comes shooting through, exploding. I feel like I'm in the scene from Titanic. I just looked at John's eyes, and you can tell he's scared. He's really, really frightened. He doesn't know what to do, and I don't know what to do.
The whole dream of my life was all disintegrating right in front of my eyes. And they're screaming, I don't want to die, I don't want to die.
In just a matter of seconds, the Silverwood's idyllic sailing trip has turned into a living hell. The Emerald Jane is being ground into a reef in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and is being battered by violent waves.
I know that we're in a world, just a world of hurt.
Seawater is engulfing the vessel, and the cabin is slowly flooding.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
This is the sailing vessel Emerald Jane. We're at latitude and longitude. I can hear French voices, just like static in the universe. But I can't get through.
The boat's satellite phone should work anywhere on Earth. It's a direct line to call for rescue.
And my hands are shaking so hard. I drop the phone, so the phone just dies.
John now activates the boat's rescue beacon. It's their last resort, transmitting an emergency distress signal to international rescue services.
And I see that little red light blinking, and I think, is that signal actually really going way up into space? And is there anybody to hear it?
Our radio wasn't working, our satellite phone didn't work anymore. We didn't know if the emergency beacon was working. We had almost no way of communicating with anybody that we were there.
With the Emerald Jane being smashed on the reef, John believes they must abandon ship.
And I look at Ben and I tell him, Ben, we've got to launch the life raft. We pull the line that inflates this life raft. You never think that you're going to do it. But in the next second, you absolutely want to hear the sound of that compressed air filling that life raft.
But just as Ben and John are about to launch the life raft,
all the lights on board Emerald Jane, every single light goes out.
Seawater has flooded the boat's batteries and cut the electricity supply.
You couldn't see anything in any direction. There was no lights. I look out, it's just pitch black. I knew we were pretty much screwed right there.
Just as it seems things can get no worse, yet another ocean swell crashes over the reef and unleashes its full fury on the stricken boat.
One of these big waves breaks directly over the middle of the boat. Dad! I'm flat on my back. And I look down and what I see is just impossible. That mast, that 80-foot mast is laying right across my legs.
The huge force of the wave has snapped the Emerald Jane's mast.
This huge surge of electric pain just barrages it explodes in my brain.
I heard my dad scream.
The falling mast has also hit Ben, striking him on the head.
My head was just pounding, like, my ears were ringing and I could feel like, you know when you can feel your heartbeat in your head?
And the next thing I know, there's Ben's face, you know? He's got blood coming down both sides of his face and he's looking down at me. And I pull myself up and doing a sit-up. I'm confronted with these two white bones, the remains of my lower leg, and they're shattered.
You can see the bones sticking out like toothpicks almost out of the side.
The mast has almost completely severed John's leg below the knee.
And beneath that, there's just this pool of blood that's spreading on the deck.
Ben tries to free his father from under the 2,500-pound mast.
This thing is 80 feet long. It's impossible.
And I couldn't like just pull it out.
He's losing huge amounts of blood from his shattered leg. And Ben knows that unless he can find a way to stem the flow, his dad has only minutes to live.
He's in a huge amount of trouble.
Dad! I said, Ben, my leg's broken. I'm trapped. You're in charge of the boat now. You've got to take care of the family. I watched his eyes. I could watch his expression and how it changed. Becoming a man. I could see that come over his face. And he just looks at me and he says, Dad. Dad, I'm gonna get you out of here.
I really didn't think about what the actual burden was on me or the responsibility. My reaction was just to keep doing stuff.
Ben knows his dad is losing massive amounts of blood, and he has no time to spare. He has to stem the flow, or his dad will die.
Within minutes, there's my son.
It's gonna hurt.
And he's got an idea. He takes that line and he wraps it around my thigh. he's got these big screwdrivers.
I wrapped it around as many times as I possibly could and then linked it together.
Ben's tourniquet cuts the circulation to his dad's leg.
Without that effort, I probably would have died within 10 minutes.
Below deck, the cabin is flooding fast. Jean has to get the kids out and leads them up into the cockpit, now the only safe haven on the boat. It's only now that she sees for the first time her husband's terrible condition.
He's in horrible, horrible pain. I said, I'm gonna go down below and get the first aid kit.
The medical kit could help save his father's life. But Ben knows that if he lets his mum go below deck, she'll be walking into a death trap.
She was kind of just pleading with me. She could go get the medicine. It'll only be a second. She knows exactly where it is. I told her it's just stupid to go down there because you get, if not killed, hurt really badly. My mom's 5'5", I'm 6'1", so I was able just to hold her back.
As he was forcing me to stay there, this massive, massive wave came over the boat. Blew out the front windows that surrounded the main salon where I was going. I would have been killed instantly if I was there. So he saved my life.
I understand completely what's going on. I was not concerned about myself. If there was no way to get me in, well, that was that.
Now, as head of the family, Ben is faced with getting the 3 young children off the boat and across the reef to the tiny outcrop of dry rock.
As soon as the wave broke and started to recede, that's when I jumped off the boat. The reef is so sharp, the little coral spikes would go right through my sandals. I had coral cutting my feet every time I took a step.
They're cutting up their legs every which way.
We have the waves breaking on our legs, and our legs are getting absolutely cut up. At that point, I gave my brother the little emergency beacon.
Hold this, keep tight, yeah?
I told him, Jack, do not let go of this. This is our only way anyone can possibly find us.
You've got to get off the boat now, too. You've got to get off the boat.
Alone on the boat, John is now in the final stages of life. And he begins to give up.
There was no possibility of saving me out there. And I don't have any hopes whatsoever of being rescued. This little piece of boat that I'm on is going to just slide off the edge of the reef, and I'm going to sink a mile down to the bottom of the ocean.
But the thought of watching John die alone on the boat haunts Ben and his mum.
If we don't get him off the boat, he doesn't have a chance. He doesn't have a chance. I have to get him off the boat.
Ben decides to head back to the boat.
Mom, go to the life raft. I'm gonna go to Dad.
But the life raft is hopelessly tangled in a web of rope. Jean pulls at the life raft for over an hour.
Every bit of my mind, every bit of muscle I have, I'm grunting, I'm practically drowning out there. After about 40 minutes, I was completely exhausted. I couldn't do it.
Jean launches into a frenzy, a crazed frenzy, trying to push this raft out.
But just as it seems it will never be freed,
The life raft just comes popping out.
She just yelled at me like, I got it, I got it. We have the waves breaking on our legs and pushing us into the boat, and our legs are getting just absolutely cut up. I had to use all my strength to just lift his upper body and slide that in.
And the pain was intense. It was just a series of explosions, you know? I remember the tears that were just streamed down the side of my eyes. And my teeth are just grit. My son was the ray of hope, the ray of light, the steady hand.
My worries were the life raft would pop some point on the reef, like before we were able to get him to safety.
Every one of those steps, there's just these explosions of pain. It's just pure agony, you know? That kind of pain, it takes maybe an hour to even begin to leave you. That peak of pain.
finally, the whole family is off the boat. But it's been 10 hours since they crashed and set off their emergency beacon. and John is close to death.
I knew my dad didn't have very long to live. I knew he wasn't going to last like till the next day.
It's been 12 hours since the Silverwoods activated their emergency distress signal. But there's been no sign of rescue. Clinging to a tiny outcrop of rock, the family has all but given up hope. And inside the life raft, John is barely conscious, on the edge of death.
I'm surrounded by darkness. I don't have any connection with reality. I would pray, I'd ask God, in return for my own suffering, in return for my own passing, would you please save the life of my wife? Save the life of my kids.
Ben has done everything he can to save his dad. He can do no more. He's now resigned to his father's death.
As the sun came up, I could see this little star flying on the horizon. So I thought it could be a plane.
Help! Help!
I was ecstatic, like someone knew we were there.
And it gets right over us and it starts circling, just circles around and around and around.
But no sooner has the plane flown over them than it disappears over the horizon.
I could see the glimmer from the star kind of just diminished.
Our hearts sank because we realized, we're not going to get rescued.
Two more hours pass, and there's no sign of the plane returning.
Time was definitely running out for my dad. We need like a medic or a doctor here now. I see this boat on the horizon.
The family's emergency beacon had led the plane to the reef. But unable to land, the crew alerted local fishermen on a nearby island. "15 hours after their boat was shipwrecked, their ordeal is finally over.
That was when I finally let go. I just grabbed Ben and I held him and I cried. I can't even tell you the feeling of elation.
I was just relieved, like I just dropped a huge bag or something.
We're actually going to get out of this situation. John's gonna make it.
The fishermen take the family to a nearby island, where they're evacuated by a medical rescue team and flown to Tahiti. After 8 hours of surgery, John's life was saved. But he lost his left leg below the knee.
How was it to lose a leg? I honestly can tell you, it bothered me not. When I regained consciousness, everything was new to me. Everything was spectacular to me.
I'm so proud of my children. I thought Ben was a 16-year-old immature boy, and he turned into a man in an instant.
Well, a lot of people use the word like hero and stuff like that about me. It doesn't really seem right. I just did all that stuff just because it needed to be done.
I see my wife and I see my kids through an entirely different lens. And I understand exactly how magnificent that they really are.